people would say that you were always in the right place at the right time, running a lot of players in circles, causing a lot of problems for defenses, having multiple guys on you throughout the games. What would you say is your best advice for, just feeling the floor, seeing the floor, keeping your feet moving on the floor, all of the above, keeping a full perspective?
If you could shoot threes, if you have a mid-range, if you could put the ball on the floor, if you can make a left-hand layup, you're unstoppable. You can get to anywhere on the floor you want. You just have to prepare for that, those moments, those situations. You can't practice on one side of the floor. You have to kind of be, somewhat autonomous all over the floor, backpedaling to your shots. Like, you have to understand what the lines mean, and if you're looking down the three-point line, just understanding the distance between the three-point line to the basket, and then not always relying on the three-pointer, but getting into your mid-range shot and knowing how to explode up from there, going left and going right. Ultimately, the idea behind being this person that can kind of get to anywhere on the spot is, and when you said I always seem to be at the right place at the right time, that's because the ball finds energy always. You continue to move, energy, just like in life. Like, you sense good energy. You want to be next to good energy. You can't suppress energy. It's always going to be there. And I say, if you find your energy and you keep moving, regardless of what happens on the floor, like, you're going to be running and all of a sudden the ball's going to go up and then bam, the ball's going to end up in your hands. And then I make a move, not necessarily that I'm going to shoot it, but then I take two dribbles and I pass it. I created a motion or movement for someone else. So the more I pass the ball, the more the ball comes back to me. And I constantly I'm moving, because people aren't willing to move the way I'm willing to move. And the minute they stop, I'm still moving. That's when I get open. And so it seems a lot of times like it was random, which, it was, but you become good at the randomness that it becomes almost consistent, and it becomes something that has been tried and prepared to exist.
When was this taught to you? When did you learn this? When did it click for you that your motor was an advantage?
I chose the right college in the beginning, because I think that's the way basketball is supposed to be played. Not where you get the ball over half court and you run a set and you pass the ball 4 or 5 times and then you score. Like, yeah, you can do that, but the whole point of basketball is to overpower your opponent. If you're in better shape than they're in, you beat them down the floor, and then you pressure them and you force turnovers. Like, that's when it's the most fun, but it requires a commitment of conditioning that a lot of people aren't willing to commit to. Are you willing to run more in practice? I always believe that, if you lost in the drill and you had to run, like, it wasn't a punishment. I was actually the person that was benefiting from losing, even though I don't like losing, but I'm benefiting because I'm getting in better shape. In college, we played against the University of Virginia, and Harold Dean was their point guard at the time, and we ran him out of the gym. And afterwards, he and I, we grew up around each other. So he's like, man, what you guys have is special. You guys run. And I was like, dude, if you would have seen how much running we did in the preseason, like, you would have thought that your guts were going to fall out. But now we get on the floor, and nobody has this motor that we have. Like, beat your man down the floor. In basketball, if you think about this, and Mark, you can attest to this, if a coach can put a player in a game that he has to draw no plays for, and he scores 8 to 10 points, that's one of the best players on the team and your teammate's favorite player, and one of the fan favorites, because the coach doesn't have to draw any plays for you. But the fact that you got blocks, you got offensive rebounds, you took charges, and you ran the floor and got, easy buckets, in playoff basketball, that is a commodity. And so if you do that all year long, you're a guy that people fear, because you can't scout that. You can't go on the scouting report and say, this is what he does, this is his play. You got to say, this guy is a beast out there. You have to match his energy. And if people aren't in shape, then it's going to be substitution time all game.